What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS 3 Raw TV. So this video today, it's actually a very hard video to make because I'm going to try to get through to some people that I'm not going to say impossible to get through, but very difficult to get through to. And it's going to make some people have some realizations, hopefully. It's going to have some people hopefully do their own research. It's going to have some people still think I'm crazy, but it's the truth. I mean, it's 100% true. And I think that, I'll be honest with you, I've been censored like crazy through all my social media for speaking the truth. Can't even get videos to actually go up on Facebook now because they actually block them before they even go up, which is crazy. And I've just been out there speaking my mind, my opinions, and some facts that are easily backed up. Now, I want to talk to you guys today about the vaccine. Doesn't matter whether it's Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, Pfizer, whatever the case may be. I know a lot of people out there who don't believe in the vaccine and think it's very dangerous, etc., get very mad, okay, at other people that get the vaccine and believe in the vaccine. And it's gotten to the point now where this is something else besides race, besides, where we come from economically, our demographics, whatever, geographic location. It's become something else to keep us separated, have us on two different sides. We have politics that separates us. We have pretty much everything. Even our sports team separates us when we fight about which sports teams are the best. It gives us something else to cause separation in arguments, and it really divides families and friends. Because the people that believe in the vaccine want to be safe. The people that don't believe in the vaccine want those people to be safe because they truly believe that that person is in danger from taking that vaccine. So in essence, what everybody really wants is everybody to be safe. Nobody wants anybody to die. Nobody wants anybody to be sick, and both sides are frustrated, and they're clashing and banging heads and arguing. This side's right about getting it, this side's right about not getting it, and neither one of them, these people don't want these people to die, and these people don't want these people to die. So in essence, it's kind of like an argument about a good thing, about caring about other people, right? Even if you care just about yourself, you're still caring, right? I know. Hang on. I think it's about time we stop arguing about the vaccines. I have many people in my life that have gotten the vaccines, friends. I have family members that have gotten it. I will not be getting it. That's just my personal decision. It's my personal, right? My personal choice not to do that. Just like it's your personal choice to get it. And I understand it. Now, I can tell you that many of the people, and I'm going to be real here, guys. I'm being 100% real, and I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm really not. But I want everybody to open their eyes and at least be on the same page. And if you decide that the vaccine is for you or not for you, hey, that's cool. At least it's facts and not made up bullshit. And I'm not going to sit here and talk about how dangerous it. Look, I'm just going to give you facts. Now, the people that don't want to take the vaccine, like myself, have really looked into what's into it, have looked at the side effects, have seen the things that are actually reported online by the CDC and a couple other places, even other countries, about side effects, about deaths. It's overwhelming how bad this thing can look. It really is, right? Then you have the flip side that got the vaccine and they're like, look, we just want our lives back. We want to return to normal and protect everybody. So I'm just going to do my part. Now, hang on. What is your part? That's my question. What were you told that getting the vaccine was doing your part to save the world? Right? That is my question. Here's the facts. For those of you that want to get the vaccine, it is your choice. I have no problem with it whatsoever. You get it. You're not stupid. You're not dumb. You're my friend, my family. I love you. Period. But here are the facts. The vaccine that people are getting right now and rushing to get it and wanting to get it is based on a knee-jerk reaction due to emotion. People are putting an emotional value on that vaccine. And what I mean by that is they're viewing this vaccine as a vaccine, like for the flu, for the measles, for the mumps, that once you get vaccinated, you will be protected, you'll protect other people, and we can get our country and our world back to normal, which is what everybody wants, to be protected and back to normal. We would just want to be done with this shit, and they're fed up. Now, the problem is, many of the people that are getting the vaccine keep claiming science, trust the science. Because that's what we're hearing. You're hearing from Fauci and these people on TV, trust the science. Science says, data shows, studies show, there are all these words that are out there, but have you actually looked at the science as opposed to just listening to whoever's on TV? Have you actually paid attention and actually delved into and researched yourself what that science is? Now, removing emotion from it, okay, because I am not emotionally attached to this vaccine. I don't care. I'm not emotionally attached to any food, not emotionally attached to any drug, anything like that. Now, bear with me. all the experts, including Dr. Fauci, who's been spearheading the coronavirus task force since under Trump, and he's still there now, has said publicly in Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, all of them have publicly stated, first of all, it is not FDA approved. It is not FDA approved, period. It is approved for emergency authorization only, which means it is not tested, it is not deemed safe, and they have not done the studies to deem it safe, okay? And Fauci has said that, and all the companies have said that. But it has kind of bounced off the people that are emotionally attached because they hear emergency authorization from the FDA. That doesn't mean it's FDA approved. That means the FDA is backing off saying, hey, it's emergency use. We're not taking any liability if this thing goes south. That's the first thing, okay? So science is already saying, okay, true science, not the people that are emergency authorization because what's going on. Science is already saying this thing is unproven. It's not really what you think it is. We don't really know what it is. The scientists don't really know what it is. The people who created it don't really know what it is. They don't know lasting effects. They don't even know if it's actually going to work. And they've said that publicly. All of them. There's disclaimers everywhere. But if you haven't seen them, I suggest you go out there and research and find on your own. All of the companies that made the vaccine say this thing is not FDA approved, nor is it safe. You're hearing politicians say that it's safe. They're not making any claims from the drug companies because they can't. Now, that being said, the emotional attachment is still there. So you have something that isn't necessarily approved by the FDA or deemed safe. Why are we taking it? Well, if you take a vaccine, you can't get the virus and you can't spread the virus. That's what we're hoping, right? We get some antibodies, et cetera, et cetera. Well, here's the issue. Dr. Fauci himself, as well as all of the companies I just mentioned, have stated publicly that this technically is called a vaccine. However, it is not a vaccine in the terms that we have for flu, mumps, measles, etc. This vaccine does not stop you from getting coronavirus. This vaccine does not stop you from spreading coronavirus. What this vaccine does is works like a Tamiflu. If you get coronavirus, you should, and they said it's not even 100% here. It could be 52%. They don't really know what percent. It should help you lessen the effects on your body from the coronavirus should you get it. So now we have a vaccine that really doesn't stop the spread, nor does it stop you from getting it. It only minimizes the symptoms. So it's technically a therapeutic and not a vaccine. And Dr. Fauci has been very open about it, saying you must continue to wear your masks. You must continue to social distance. The country is not opening again. The vaccine is just a start. And they're not really sure when we'll be able to go back to normal, even though you're getting vaccinated. So my question is this. If Fauci is telling you to your face, this thing does nothing but reduce it a little bit, why are so many people out there saying, I did my part? I got vaccinated, do my part. Get vaccinated, do your part. What part is that? This vaccine doesn't help stop the spread. So you still can give it to your mom, your dad, your loved ones, your kids. You could still give the virus to all of them if they haven't been vaccinated. Even if they haven't vaccinated, you can still contract it from going out in public or whatever the case may be. Okay, the emotional attachment is you think vaccine when you hear that word, I'm safe. That couldn't be further from the truth. This vaccine has changed absolutely nothing in the way of beating this virus. Zero. All it has done is possibly some people that got the vaccine would not get it as bad, maybe not die, maybe not feel as bad, maybe shorten the duration. There's a lot of maybes in there. And the science and data through Fauci, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, as well as, what was the other one? Was it Pfizer? Either. Anyways, all of them are saying this. They're telling you right to your face. But then the politicians turn around and say, we must do our part. You must do your part. What part is that? Because for the last year, I've seen people running around telling me to wear a mask, not because they care about me and not to protect myself. They say, well, what about the other people? What about the grandmas? What about grandpas? You're killing them by not wearing a mask. You could be killing people. Well, now all of a sudden we have this vaccine that people are rushing off to get, saying, I did my part. That vaccine only affects the person who took it. It does not affect anybody externally. It doesn't help any of your family members, grandma, grandpa, great-granny. It doesn't help any of them at all for any reason. So the only person this vaccine helps is the person getting it, just in case they get corona, to not feel it as much and shorten the duration. So doing your part with the masks was all about saving people out there. And that is literally carried over emotionally. And people haven't even made the context, made the switch to saying, wait a minute, this thing only affects me. How am I doing my part? Like, I don't really understand how that's doing your part. You get a vaccine, you're okay. Great grand can't get it, or your kids can't get it. They get sick and die. What did your vaccine do to help them? It did nothing. If anything, and I'm going to be 100% real with you guys right now, getting the vaccine is a selfish act because there is not enough vaccines to go around. So therefore, if you want to save other people and you want other people to be safe, it makes more sense to let other people get the vaccines, and the one you were going to get, let somebody else get it that's at higher risk. Okay? There are people I know right now that they say, well, I just had to go online and fill out a form and said I'm a former smoker and they gave it to me. How is that? Like, there's not enough to go around, and we're worried about the older population, which we really need to protect. And all you have to do is go on there and say I'm a former smoker and not even prove it, and they give you the vaccine. That vaccine was much better off used giving to someone that could actually use it, that needed it, who would probably die if they got coronavirus. That vaccine would stop that old person from dying, and you took it when your body has a 99.9% chance of fighting that virus off. Think about this for a second. We have a therapeutic, not a vaccine, a therapeutic right now that people are rushing to get because in your head, for some reason, you're hearing the politicians, and I'm not going to say which one or ones, saying if you get vaccinated, you might be able to have 4th of July festivities at your house. If you get vaccinated, you can go into public without a mask and go to the movie theaters and stuff because you had the vaccine. You're doing your part. You're now safe. You're making the world a safer place. How is that possible if that vaccine doesn't do anything to stop the spread? It doesn't mean anything. It means that you yourself. So why is it okay for you to go out without a mask now, but not before, when this vaccine just protects you? You're not protecting the other people still. So in order to protect the other people, you still must wear a mask and you still must social distance. To protect yourself from getting coronavirus, you must still wear your mask and social distance. That is where we're at. And I think that many people are missing that. Many people don't do their own research. They listen to the politicians. And some of these doctors that are wrapped up with the politicians, they're parroting things that the politicians are saying, kind of mixing it and throwing it under the guise of science, when science says we have an unapproved drug that has never been tried before, coming from multiple sources. Now, my thing also is if we have found one vaccine that worked, why are there several companies making several different ones that they don't know what the side effects are of any of them? If one worked, why aren't all the companies replicating that formula so that we have more of this vaccine instead of coming up with different vaccines? We don't need different vaccines. We need a vaccine that works to stop the spread and stop the person from actually getting it actively. We don't have that. We have multiple vaccines that we don't even know what's in the different vaccines from vaccine to vaccine. People are having allergic reactions. We're not sure. So why do we have these therapeutics that we're not really sure about, that we're being told, follow the science? There is no science behind these whatsoever. There isn't a single study done on these vaccines with the combinations of ingredients that are in them. And we have multiple vaccines. So if we had 4 vaccines, we should have at least 3 to 4 studies per vaccine to know whether or not they're safe and what they actually do. We don't have any of that. So therefore, there is no science. We're not listening to science. We're listening to political beliefs. We're listening to political jargon telling us under the guise of science, using a person with a lab coat and a stethoscope to tell us what this thing is doing. That is an emotional attachment. You're scared. You've had enough. You're beat down. You want your life back. That's what people getting the vaccine are at right now. That's where they're at. And I understand that because we're all there with you. However, getting the vaccine does not change the fact that you will not be able to go out in public and not get it. You will not be able to go out in public and not spread it. Nothing will change from the vaccine except for when you get it, just like the Tamiflu, it will minimize the effects on you. Therefore, you are getting the vaccine for you. You're not doing your part to save the world. You're not doing your part to save or make anybody safe. You're doing the part to make yourself feel better if you get it. Now, what is so virtuous about that? You just went from screaming at people for not wearing a mask and social distancing. I watched a lady take one of these walking sticks that you walk in the woods with and poke somebody outside. There's a video of her poking somebody because that person didn't have a mask on. It wasn't 6 feet from the other person he was with, and they were outside in the forest. And she was physically assaulting them and poking them with it because they could possibly infect someone else. right? We've seen people literally run up to people. It happened to me. Someone scream in my face at the supermarket to stand 6 feet apart from my wife, which they didn't even know who my wife was or that I was with her. So now it's common to scream in people's faces and assault them with weapons under the guise of science saying that you have to be 6 feet away and wear a mask. I don't remember science ever saying to act like a bunch of jackasses and go out there and physically assault people. I don't remember ever hearing or seeing that anywhere in any science. But that's what's happening. Emotional attachment. That lady with the walking sticks was so emotionally charged because she's so scared of what's happening that she physically assaulted someone. Now, I highly doubt 3 or 4 years ago that lady would have done the same thing. She's doing it out of fear. She's doing it out of what's happening around her and the things that she's being told. And she's being told she's doing the right thing for forcing those people, no matter how you have to do it. We're being told, make a scene. Get out there and be violent if you have to. You're saving lives. This is virtuous. You're doing the right thing. Like, this has been pushed on us for the last year. And now the vaccine comes. My question is, if the vaccine only affects you, how are you doing your part? How are you protecting the rest of the world? Follow the science. It's all about the science. Have you actually looked at the science yourself? Have you actually delved into what things are going on and how these vaccines actually work? Have you seen how they're going to affect people long term? As far as when will we be able to get back to normal? How many people need to be vaccinated? What's going to happen with this thing? Is it going to mutate? Do we need more vaccines in the future? Like, all of things are being pushed by the side because people are scared and they're fed up. That's it. Fear and being fed up are the two things driving people out there right now. And the other people are still scared, like myself. They don't want to get in trouble or have the vaccine get the coronavirus and die or get sick. We also don't want our loved ones to be like that either. We also don't want to put the vaccine in our body that is completely not approved. You know, there are many people throughout the years that made fun of me and looked down on me for using heroin, street heroin. Yeah, I shot heroin in my body. And those same people that made fun of me, that look down on me like I'm less than them, just put a drug in their body that they have no idea what's in it, that they have confirmed side effects from, that they literally have no idea if it's going to affect them one way or the other. What I can tell you is this: the people that looked down upon me, that got the vaccine, the people that made fun of me have no right to say anything about what I did in my past anymore. Because to me, you don't know what you're putting in your body, and I didn't know what I was putting in my body. And you took a chance, and I took a chance. To me, that levels the playing field no matter what scientists said. The crazy part is they said this vaccine, it's only maybe 50% effective, 80% effective, 30% effective, et cetera, et cetera. Well, no offense, but the heroin that I took was effective 100% of the time. And after being tested multiple times in our area, we found that heroin, the China white that we used to use, to be 99% pure. People were dying of overdoses, not toxicities. That means that street heroin was more pure and had a better safety record. Now, people overdose, but just by taking it doesn't do anything. And it also worked 100% of the time. Now, I know it sounds crazy to compare the vaccine to heroin, but this is where we're at. Take the emotional stigma out of what heroin is, a street drug, and the vaccine is a therapeutic, and look at it for what it really is. Neither one of us knew what we were putting in our body. We're hoping that it was supposed to do the job that it did. A certain amount of people died and got sick from taking it. That makes us pretty equal from where I sit. But who am I? I'm just a former heroin addict who likes to go and delve into some of this research and the science and pay attention. And even food for me, right? That was my past life. I could say, hey, I was young and stupid. I'm 45 now. Well, you 45-year-olds, 50 years old, 60-year-olds, etc., 20-year-olds, whatever, that are taking this vaccine, it's up to you to do your own research and know what you were putting in your body. Had there been some kind of label on that heroin when we got it, I would have paid attention to that label. I take foods now. I don't even put a food or a drink in my body without taking it and looking at the label, reading everything in it and understanding what that food is going into my body. I don't even do that. So why would I put a drug in my body, okay, that we don't know what those combinations are. They don't even really tell you the combinations of what's in there. You have to do so much deep research to figure out what's in there. And even then, it's still not clear as to what's in those vaccines. But we also know when we put it in our body, we don't know what's going to happen. So I challenge you all right now, go out there and do the research on your own. Stop listening to Dr. Fauci, who, listen, let's be real. Fauci has been wrong almost 100% of the time. I said he's been wrong about 98% of the time that he's been on TV. And he is the highest paid individual in the entire government. Think about this for a second. How can you be so wrong about so much and not just keep your job, but be the highest paid individual in the entire government? How is that possible? Questions that make you go, that's interesting. Again, these are facts. These are not emotional. I'm not emotional about this whatsoever. I am not emotionally attached to this vaccine. I think if you want to get it and you want to get it for yourself, to protect yourself, not other people, you should at least be aware that it's only protecting you. It's not virtuous. It's not doing your part. It's not doing your job. It's not saving lives. It's protecting you, okay? And that is a selfish thing to do in my book. If that vaccine can help someone else who can't get it because there's not enough. You guys can figure out what you want. You can decide what you want. But those are my 2 cents thrown in with a lot of facts. And I hope that somebody watches this, and many of you watch this, and some things click, and eventually you guys realize what's going on. And again, even if you read everything and you look at everything and you still decide that the vaccine is for you, that's awesome, fine. Just be real about it. Don't be making up some weird stuff about how you're doing your part and you're protecting the world. You're not. You're protecting yourself. You're taking a vaccine away from somebody that could really need it a lot more than you. And to me, that's not doing your part. That's being selfish. It's being emotionally charged and make a decision based on emotion and not logic and not facts. Thank you guys for listening. I'm Biosphere and I approve this message, and we're out.